Hey YouTube, welcome back to Unique CCG, and today we are feeling a little bit under the weather, which we were yesterday, the day before that. But that being said, we are back and we are trying to pump out more content. So today we're having a full best 2 out of 3 match of OP05 Enel versus OP05 Sakazuki. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's see if we can kick this video up past 100 likes. Past that, if you want to direct yourselves over to the Patreon, which will be in the description, we've got the Red Zoro and OP05 article out. It's been a long time coming. The unbans kind of threw it off in the holidays, and then like just being like busy and then now sick, but it is out, so I hope you guys enjoy that. And then lastly, if you want to do me a New Year's / Christmas miracle, I've got my Dragon Ball channel in the description. We just dropped some PvP for Legends with a brand new ultra rarity UI sign Goku, so all those things popping off, but I hope you guys enjoy. Let's jump into the match, and happy holidays. Alright, so we are here with some Enel versus Sakazuki, both decks from OP05, both from big contenders for this current meta. Both of these can be kind of slower decks because Sakazuki wants to control the flow of the game, whereas Enel would like to survive until the end game, mid to end game, mid to late game, and then just start playing its bombs. Bombs that if Sakazuki cannot handle one after another, Sakazuki would fold against. So now we get the die roll, seeing a 7 on the Enel side, and yeah, a 4 on Sakazuki's side. So Enel is choosing to go second. The first hand seemed to have a couple of good triggers in it and not enough boss cards, so it was thrown back. And then I saw Shirahoshi, a Sanji, maybe more. Whereas Sakazuki decided to keep its first hand. Enel, a Shirahoshi, and a Shirahoshi. This hand is arguably worse. Woo! A Cracker. Yeah, everything on the hand has trigger except the Enel. So we get the starting of the turn by discarding a Rob Lucci, which is fair. In this matchup, Rob Lucci needs a little help to be able to hit things because a lot of these things start off at 4 cost or more. So now we've got 2 Crackers, 2 Shirahoshis, an Enel, and a Satori. The hand is very, very slow. We're just going to have a pass. So without a good play to do on 3, he's just going to end up swinging for 8. There's not really much you can do here. I see it's an Ice Age, Rebecca, Kuzan. The hand isn't bad at all. That's a very good hand for dealing with threats later. But going second would have had this hand on a much better turn. So now that this is able to happen, we're going to swing in for a base 5. And he's going to take it. I agree with taking this first life against Enel because most of your value cards are 4 costs, and if you do end up taking that first damage, you can't get Gadatsu'd on most of your valuable cards. So they have to wait until they can play Katakuri or Katakuri later on to start blowing up your cards, or they have to pay the price of a Thunderbolt. It's a little hefty. 1 life is not anything to scoff at. So we're gonna swing at Enel. This is a bit risky. Because now dropping me down to lower life beneath his, I'm gonna be able to swing with a double attack, a dual attack. Double attack if he doesn't actually clear that. And he chose not to. He played the Kuzan. So now we're going to get up to 6 Dawn. And I think I top decked a Thunderbolt here. So we're just going to immediately put this this cracker, Charlotte Cracker, up to 10. 4 from the Dawn and then an extra from his effect. And then being at lower life, we're going to be able to hit for 2 damage. 10 is just a lot to block at this point in the game, so... immediately putting the Sakazuki player at a weird point. Now we're going to swing with Enel, and then he's going to protect that last life. Thunderbolt will bring me down to 1, but it'll get rid of the Kuzan, which is great because I want to start cruising into my bigger plays. Sorry, a little under the weather. But yeah, we were passing play back. The discarding of the blue Hina. Have to play very carefully here, simply because the life is low. You know that this deck can now start playing things like Big Mom to go up on life or put you down on life, rush Enels. We're getting to a more dangerous part of the Enel strategy. So right now we're gonna go up to 8 and swing over on Charlotte Cracker. Thinking about whether or not we want to lose two 2Ks in order to save that, and we opt to, discarding a Satori and a Gangbage. So this is just to keep momentum. Right now, the Enel side has a pretty forward momentum, and then you see the Rush Enel in the hand. So there's a lot going on here. We're able to potentially keep pressing into game if we can keep the momentum going. So protecting this Charlotte Cracker means a lot. However, this is a Sakazuki deck, so there's no guarantee that this card is going to remain on the board. We are seeing a Rebecca get played as a blocker, but Sakazuki is very much so on the back foot here. Asking for confirmation of what card was taken. We are now going to move over to the following turn. So putting 2 Dawn under Cracker, we're gonna swing in for 7. Oh. They were discussing a little bit on what the correct play was. Swinging in for 6 instead. Drawing out a one-legged soldier, and then we're gonna swing for 7 with the leader. We are discussing a little bit what we need to do in order to make this the best turn we possibly can. So a swing for 6, a swing for 6. And then we played 5 Dawn to hopefully play Shirahoshi, and we did a couple things here. We wanted to leave 1 Dawn up for El Thor and potentially set up a Katakuri play with the Shirahoshi, and sure enough, we drew El Thor and Shirahoshi, and Katakuri for that play. I had to kind of flash to the screen because I was crunching numbers as I was dawning up, and I realized the probability of seeing at least one of those cards off of this draw 3 was pretty high, setting me up for a defensive play or my next turn, and probability happened to work out, and I drew both of them. So we're just going to discard a Shirahoshi and a Cracker. Okay, and now we have the ability, if he doesn't destroy Shirahoshi, Katakuri can get it next turn, but also we're a little safer knowing that we have our this life, our leader effect, and an L Thor that's active. So it looks like Sakazuki's player's hand is Destruction Light, because we're seeing a lot of swings go towards we're seeing a lot of swings go towards battle cards, but I think at this point we are swinging towards life, and that's going to catch the L Thor to make sure that we don't go down and you have to use the leader effect quite yet. And now we're going to see another Rebecca come down. This time getting back the Kuzan, because the Kuzan will be able to start putting things down, but we're not quite sure if it's enough yet. Finally opting to just use Hound Blaze to get rid of the Cracker because it has been on the board for too long. Discarding a Kuzan to draw again before passing the turn. Yeah, this is more of a back foot kind of game for Sakazuki. There's not a lot of great plays that could have been made with that hand. There's not a lot of destruction. I'm seeing a Man Sherry, just got a Hound Blaze. So there's a Hound Blaze and Ice Age. That's very good. So before we can have anything, was thinking about what the order things, but I realized that since black destroys based off of cost, black and blue interact based off of cost, so there isn't really much of a reason to play Katakuri first. Shirahoshi's pretty safe. So swing into Hina gets rid of a blocker because he realizes that he needs to keep this forward momentum. He cannot afford to fall any further back, so he gets rid of the blocker to keep the swinger. And then a Katakuri is going to come down and bounce the Shirahoshi, bringing Enel back up to 2 life, as well as setting up this next draw, this next graceful charity, if you will. A lot of contemplation here. We see in the hand Ice Age, a brand new, a Rob Lucci. We're discarding the brand new to draw another card. I believe that was an extra. Now here's kind of a smart play. He knows that I want that Shirahoshi, so he's not gonna just invest Dawn into swinging onto a Shirahoshi play. And sure enough, I dropped a 1k to not take that because I'm not just gonna let a 5k go through just so we can swing another 5k. But then he swings with his leader again, getting the Shirahoshi proc. And discarding Enel. You want to get rid of the cards in your hand that are most dead, but I think he also understands now that if I was willing to get rid of an Enel, I likely have another one in hand. So that's going to put him a little on edge. So next we're going to see an Ice Age on Katakuri. And combined with the leader effect, the leader is currently sitting at the Katakuri is sitting at 2 cost. So now Rob Lucci's effect, putting these 3 at the bottom. Destroying Katakuri while adding a body onto the board. He's playing uphill right now. Only 1 blocker, but it's not like I can do a terrible amount. And he's got to make sure that he's able to press me next turn. I see a lot of his hand is not counterable, which is unfortunate for him. But he really does have to start amassing a way to tear apart my board once I start to establish it. Putting the Kuzan down is very, very good because it'll allow him to not get immediately. Well, it'll allow him to not only have an extra attack, but to also minus some of the cost of the next big card I play. So he's setting up a pretty good board. Potentially 3 swingers next turn, 4 including his leader. So I'm going to swing for 5 at Hina to see if that draws out the blocker. And he's just going to opt to lose a card in hand to defend it. Yeah, I see Mansheri, Great Eruption, Houndblaze, Hina, and 1 more card. But right now, I think that's another Great Eruption, is it? It looks like he only has 1k counter power in hand now. So here, I'm going to Thunderbolt the Kuzan off the board in order to get rid of, his ability to cut through my big drops. And then I'm going to use Katakuri to put Shirahoshi back to reset my leader effect. And I also have the Shirahoshi proc. So passing back to his turn, he understands that he has to press now. So he's swinging for 7, and he is going to lower Katakuri's cost by 1. He wants to close out the game because he sees how weak his hand is. I do see an Ice Age in the hand, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna drop 2 cards to go up to 8. 2k and a 1k. Now he has to decide what he wants to do. Another attack lined up for 7. That one cannot be stopped with only, it looks like, 3 cards in hand. Dropping the Ohm and 1 more card. Sorry for not fanning that. I'll do that next time. Oh. Ohm and Gidatsu, I suppose. And then we see an Ice Age on Katakuri, followed by a Houndblaze. Yeah, so we drop the Satori to get the next leader effect. And then we're going to swing with Hina, who is now an 8k. So we're going to drop 2 beige in order to not get slumped that immediate turn. So drawing with the Shirahoshi, 1 life. It looks like 2 cards in hand. And there's 2 blockers on board. So we're gonna swing in for 8 to try to get rid of some of the cards. And like I said, he understands that he is no longer the control position. He needs to put pressure on. So he opts to block with Rebecca, knowing that he keeps his swinger safe. And here, because Hina and Borsalino are essentially kind of on the same set here, he opts to just let Hina die. It's gotten enough mileage. Meanwhile, Borsalino can't be destroyed on my turn. So I've got 1 life right now. And we're seeing a 7 swing from Lucci. I have 1 card in hand. I believe picked up a Holly, yep. And then I'll activate the ability discarding the Cracker. So now we've got essentially 1 card down. We're gonna see another swing for 7. Very good math. Telling you that magic numbers video is still good. And then we're seeing a full swing on Sakazuki. And that's gonna close out game 1. With Sakazuki being up a win. So let's actually shuffle up and move on to game 2. Alright, so we are back for game 2. Enel did lose, so Enel gets to choose whether you go first or second. Looking at this hand, I see 2 Enels, a Katakuri. Decides to keep that. For some reason, I almost thought I had 5 life. Don't worry about it. Sakazuki opts to put a mulligan and then opens up Houndblaze, Tashigi, Hina, and Great Eruption. Not exactly the best, but this deck has a lot of cards it can draw, so... Activating the ability to draw by discarding Tashigi. It's not like Enel starts off the gate just aggroing, and on top of that, Tashigi is a card that can be gotten back with Rebecca, so that's fine play. Going up to 2 Dawn, and then playing a Shura to check top 5 for a Sky Island card. Opting to take Ohm, which will pair very nicely with the Holly that's currently in hand. And be a good next turn play, following turn play. Sakazuki going up to 3 Dawn. And this is actually a time where you could use Hina. There's 2 in hand. It looks like 1 was drawn for turn. So drawing the Mancherry and then playing this Hina. Now normally some people may say that this is a missed sequence, but at the same time, you never really know if Thunderbolt or Elthor gets flipped over and, you know, one would opt, there we go, Elthor won't opt to hit the Hina. That's just an Elthor that's not in hand later in the game, so he didn't really lose a terrible amount. And he was able to still press that damage. So passing it back, it is now 5 Dawn on an L side. Launching a swing immediately. Once again, taking this swing is just fine, I believe, as the Sakazuki player. It's 1 damage, you play a lot of blockers, but this makes sure that Gidatsu can't just come out and 1-for-1 your 4 costs. So this time playing Ohm to check top 5 to see if we can get another Holly. This is funny, I do believe that 3 Sanji just went down to the bottom of the deck, so that's rip. Rip to ever seeing that trigger. But we do, while we whiff, we do have the Holly in hand, so we're able to play it. Now we're discarding a brand new to draw a card. The board is starting to get a little scary on the other end. Sakazuki's going to need to start putting some of this aggression back where it came, or else it's going to be too much for him to bear. The hand's going to fold. We already saw the hand was not very high on counter power. He wants to get rid of this this forward aggression sooner than later. So taking that 5K. Before seeing a Sabo come down, the Sabo's going to attempt to help him dig. We definitely just saw him pick up 2 Kuzons, and that's pretty rough. He wants to keep one for my bigger plays, but like Kuzon requires a turn to be set up, and that's likely not going to be where that's going to end up being able to go. Dropping the Mancheri 2 and passing the turn. 1 blocker, 3 life. The hand's still kind of counter light. I see Kuzan, Great Eruption, double Hound Blaze. A card I can't make out. I think that's a Rebecca and a Tashigi. A lot of cards in hand, but not a lot of counter. And take that life. Gaining another Kuzan or a Rob Lucci. It's one of those two. Now we're going to swing that 6k with Ohm. Dropping Tashigi. Swinging again with Enel. And the 6k on Enel walks. Pretty much allowing us to know there's blood in the water. So this time we're going to play Shirahoshi. Our hand is kind of threat light, and we want to make sure that we can start playing into our late game. So drawing 3 cards is fine here. We want to start seeing those big moms, the Katakuris, the Yamatos. And we just discard, it looks like double Holly. Funny how we whiff off of Ohm, but then we managed to draw Holly for turn, it looks like, and then Holly again on the Shirahoshi. So leader effect to drop the Borsalino. Definitely digging for options at this point where the board just keeps getting wider and wider on his opponent's end. So now we're going to go in for a swing of 7. Thinking about it before just letting the Holly go. Smart to swing in the 5k instead of the 6k. We're going to get a Great Eruption, and it's going to take down the cost of Ohm. And then we're going to get a Rob Lucci. And since the leader ability has already happened on Ohm, we literally just got our Shura and our Ohm taken out. So he's doing a pretty good job at managing the board and making sure. So pretty much reset the board. He's on lower life, but he's got a much better board with a thick blocker and a swinger. So now I'm gonna swing for 5. He should know this is pretty much bait. He could take the life to try to dead Big Mom, but he could also just defend it. Like, deading Big Mom is kind of a risky play. And in a deck like this where you don't know if they search it because they're not actively searching for Big Mom Pirates, it's rather risky. But he is not going to take it, so we are going to play Katakuri to reset the Shirahoshi and pass. So the other thing about this is swinging with the naked 5k. It does automatically get blocked by Sabo, but if he blocks it with Sabo, there's an opportunity to play something like Enel and then immediately swing on it for 2k higher by putting the last down under it. And Enel is the Enel Rusher is a viable threat. He knows it's in the deck, and if his hand was this combo light already, there's no telling whether or not Sabo would have survived making swing. So he did block to protect his life and also not to get rid of any card in his hand, but he also took the risk of losing Sabo right then and there, I think. Swinging for 7 with Rob Lucci, not even gonna try to minus cards on that one, just letting the Shirahoshi hit. seeing an Ohm, a Beige, and a Big Mom. Think about what to get rid of. Big Mom is nice, but I don't think that's the game plan we're going for anymore. I see like at least one Enel in hand. I think maybe even two. I see multiple Yamatos. And then we get a Borsalino. Followed an Ice Age followed by a Borsalino to get rid of my category. Once again, managing to just keep diminishing my board while actually building his own. So that's a great place to be. So this time we're going to swing 7 into Rob Lucci. Kind of a bait play. I'm not sure if it's actually going to walk, but oh, it does. And actually, with seeing him flash his hand, you can see that he's extremely counter-light. Not a good space for him to be in right now. That being said, the Katakuri comes down to reset the Shirahoshi and we pass back to him. A couple of kind of boring turns, but they're steady turns. And that's what matters, right? So discarding Kuzan, it is kind of at a point where like, okay, Kuzan's cool and all, but like, he's doing a fairly good job getting rid of my stuff already, and he's also seen how quickly I will go out of my way to Thunderbolt it. So we're getting the Shirahoshi back. We're discarding double, we're discarding double Cracker, and he's playing 10-drop Kuzan, immediately getting rid of Shirahoshi, so it cannot be recycled again. And now that that's out, we are really on a clock right now. There's just no way to stand up really. Yellow stands up against Kuzan. If he's not dead within the next couple turns, I just lose. So we're gonna swing for 7 again. It's a risky move because I don't believe his hand has a lot of counter in it, but at the same time, if he starts letting go of his counters, if he lets go of his board, he won't have enough swings to kill me next turn. So this time he ends up blocking with Sabo and then doing that, and I immediately go after that Sabo. I need to make sure he does not have the ability to keep pressing my life, and now he's got 3 attacks when he needs 4. To get rid of all of my life. So now we're gonna end up playing an L and putting it up to 8 and swinging at life. And he can block this, but it would require. No, actually, he can't. I think he has exactly 3K in hand. 2 Rebecca's and a brand new. So he's kind of stuck. So now he knows that he has to end me this turn or present a board that I cannot break. And that requires double blockers. He does have Rebecca's though. A little bit of a hard choice going into this one. So he opts to swing with Borsalino for 8. At this point, I have a pretty stacked grip, but I don't have a terrible amount of counter power, so we'll end up taking that. Then we're getting a swing for 7, or sorry, a swing for 10 on my life as well. Enel's effect. Dropping One Enel. So again, I have an Enel on board. I dropped another Enel. I believe I'm kind of telegraphing that there is another Enel in hand, but you still got to get rid of your worst card. So now Sakazuki will swing for a flat 6. This is the easiest attack to get rid of by far. Just dropping the Satori to stop that. Now he's playing Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci can get rid of either one because he has dropped Katakuri by 1 with the leader, and then it's dropped by another 5, so 6. So I was talking to him. We were just discussing because I guess he wants me to crit the life, but I'm saying that even if I'm at 0 life, I could potentially gain a life, and I can keep the Enel by going down. So I think the correct play was to get rid of the Katakuri, because that's for surely pressure that's not going to hurt him. And sure enough, he got rid of the Katakuri, and then he plays Rebecca. So he has 0 life, and I have 2 attacks on board. This is kind of a scary point because I don't think he has enough counter power. I don't know if he could have. Oh, it's rough. He has to get another Hound Blaze. I don't know if he could have. If it would have been better, because if he puts another blocker on board instead of playing the Lucci, I still have another swinger on board. So I think that regardless, there was not really a good way to go about that. He either plays a second blocker and I have 1 more attack, pretty much negating it, or he plays Rob Lucci and he gets rid of one of my swingers. Maybe can see if he can fight something. Right now it looks like I have 2 swings, so he'd only have to out counter 1, and he is bluffing with a massive hand. So I'm gonna swing with Enel for 7, and he's going to block at 8, and I'm gonna swing again, drawing out the block here, and then this is the big gotcha moment, because now I'm able to just pay 7 again for my 3rd copy of Enel Rusher. And then swing for 8. And he has no counter power and a full playset of Hound Blazes that could not find the space to be used after Kuzan came out. And then, yeah, that's rough. Now, arguably, I think you could have used, instead of the Lucci, you could have used 2 Hound Blazes and got rid of Katakuri and the Enel. That would have been very, very good, I think. Then you would have boosted something up high. You wouldn't have gained Lucci as a body, and I do understand that in this deck you need to add more bodies to be able to get rid of the life. So that's a little weird. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of that play, but let's actually go over to game 3. Alright, so here we go. Game 3 of Sakazuki versus Enel. Happy it came out to game 3. It's always more exciting that way in my opinion. Unless the game 1 and game 2 were really, really cool. Close, really stomps. Last game almost got out of hand for the Enel player, simply just because Kuzan, once 10 drop Kuzan drops, there's not really much a yellow deck can do except close out the game. Their field's about to get torn apart with utmost ease. So it looks like both players are fine with their opening hands, meaning that we should see a pretty good high roll. Now looking at the Sakazuki player's hand, I see a Rebecca, I see an Ice Age, I see a Great Eruption, I see a Hound Blaze. It's not bad at all. Dawn up, pass. Oh, a Brandy, that's very nice. So Brandy's going to look at Rob Lucci, Hina, and Sabo, only being able to grab the Hina, but that's the perfect discard fodder for this current turn. So dropping 2 targets that Rebecca can get back. This is how the deck goes. This is good. That's a Kuzan or Rob Lucci, one of them. We're going to discard Black Hina to get Blue Hina, actually. A little bit of cat trouble. That's kind of wild. They're like crazy for Lion. Now that we're at 3, we're just going to end up swinging for 8. making sure this damage goes through no matter what. Sakazuki going in for a naked 5k. No trigger. And now we're discarding that same Hina to draw again. Kuzan coming out, making sure that no matter what is played this following turn, it can be taken out. Sakazuki's up to a very, very, very good start, in my opinion. We're catching a swing from Enel again. This time just being blocked with a little toy soldier, followed by a hard casting of Shirahoshi. Is maybe the actual opposite of cash money. So yeah, we're getting that passing back turn. It's very much so a weak start. So now we're seeing a dawning up of brand new. Which is gonna cause like a Sanji to come out of hand just to stop that. Then we're gonna swing with 5 again. Or Sakazuki's gonna swing with 5 again. This is pretty much just trying to wear down the hand. Sakazuki's hand isn't exactly the best. And it looks like he's playing it safe and not trying to open up Kuzan to get attacked next turn. It's very smart. And then by swinging at neutral 5s, he made it easy for Enel to block, making it less likely that, you know, a trigger Thunderbolt would come and smoke Kuzan. So I think overall, this is a very skillful high-level play. Very big grip. We got Sabo, which is what he got back with Mancheri, just confirming that. But it looks like we have Sabo, Houndblaze, Rebecca, Great Eruption, Ice Age, Asuru 2K, another Great Eruption, and one more card. Now we're up to 7 Dawn on Enel's side. Looks like a Thunderbolt will come down to take care of the Kuzan, getting rid of a Sanji. And then we're actually going to just swing for 1,000 into Mancheri, which is currently at 0. Just to see if he's going to drop a 2K. He opts not to, letting Mancheri go after doing his job. And then I'm going to swing for 7K on the brand new to make sure the board is reset, because we don't want any potential Houndblaze plays coming through and making even quicker work of my life in here. Discarding with the leader effect the Hina to draw a brand new, that's a good pick. And now if he decides to set up with Rebecca, he can actually play brand new from the hand, which is good. Deciding to swing first with Sakazuki. He's swinging at Shirahoshi this time. I'm pretty sure at this point he is tired of Katakuri bouncing that, and he can see that we're at Katakuri Dawn next turn. So this time he's getting back a Kuzan. He's playing brand new to check the top 3. Toy Soldier, Hina, and brand new. cannot pick up brand new. We're roommates. We play jokes on each other. He was like, "Ew, brand new." JK. So he gets the Hina, and he's gonna end up playing Kuzan, getting another draw card, and setting up for next turn once I start playing bigger cards. So now that we've got now that we've gotten rid of the brand new, we're now also going to play Yamato, and with the combined life totals, him being at 3 and me being at 1, we're able to destroy a 4 cost, which was Kuzan. Didn't get to draw a card, or didn't get to gain another life, but that Kuzan is just so much value if it gets to walk. So as a yellow player, you have to get rid of it whenever possible. Alright, we're getting a Borsalino play coming out. Followed by a Sabo to make sure nothing on the board is going to be destroyed. Yeah, it's not a bad turn. It's not a bad turn at all. So we're going to decide to stop that attack. We're seeing the board build up, and with this many swingers, we do not want additional damage coming through right now because, yes, going down to 1 allows us to tap out for Yamato, and but we can't destroy anything on his board due to the Sabo resolution. So we want to make sure we don't drop down to 1 life because then he has to hit me for 3 times, but he has 4 attacks, which is actually likely to happen. He's at a point where he doesn't need to worry about taking life right now. So swinging in with Enel. On my side, I might have taken that. I might have just taken the life because I don't think it was worth opening up Sabo. Because I think he particularly had a kill shot lined up next turn. My hand looks fairly small right now, so we're gonna play Big Mom, hoping to gain a life back. And he just says I can gain a life. He's not willing to go down any lower on his end. Yeah, I think you just keep the Sabo, but now I guess it's kind of washed, but he didn't know I was coming down with the Big Mom. So now we've got a Great Eruption and a Kuzan. Discarding the Great Eruption, mind you. Not actually using it, but discarding Great Eruption to draw a card. Sorry, made a mistake because you draw, you discard. It looked like he was activating it, but then I saw the Kuzan come down and realized, yeah, that's not possible. So now that the Kuzan's out, if I cannot kill him this turn, I'm going to start losing a lot of the cards on my board. So we have to pivot, because now the staying power that these boss monsters had is no longer there. So we're going to swing for 7. He's gonna have to take that. He's feeling pretty comfortable behind his blockers. And now I'm swinging again for 8, drawing out the block from Rebecca, swinging at 9, drawing out the block from Borsalino, keeping the life total healthy. And I mean, I think he did that because he knows that Rush Enel is a card. Sure enough, here it is. He ends up taking it, showing me that his hand is still extremely counter-light. I don't even know if there's a way to fix this in Sakazuki because the deck list is tight. You're normally stemming the tide of aggression by removing things as they come and then putting blockers up. But in terms of countering, even while getting rid of the worst card in your hand per turn, you don't always have the most amount of counter. Big think, swinging at the leader. The life disparity and the board disparity are heavy right now. So then we're going to, not swing at the leader, swinging at something else, I guess. So then we're going to end up hitting the Great Eruption. And between the Great Eruption bringing Big Mom down, it's a lot. Bringing Big Mom down by, Great Eruption, leader bringing Big Mom down to 2 cost. And then Great Eruption, yeah, we're just doing math real quick. So, playing the Lucci, Kuzan gives the static -5. So, Big Mom was at 2. And he used, he ended up using the Great Eruption and the leader effect on Yamato. And then Kuzan's static 5 made it a 1 cost. So he's able to use Lucci to get rid of a Yamato and a Big Mom. This is why, literally why, that card is so good in this. So right now he's gonna attack to swing on Enel. And I'm gonna opt to use the effect of Enel to keep itself on board. And he knows that he needs to start putting up a path to game. So he's gonna get Lucci in order to be able to do the same thing next turn, and he's gonna play Brand New to hopefully gain some counter power. It was not meant to be though, looking at that. Borsalino was the only card he could grab. That is so unfortunate. So now he has to pass. I have an Enel on the board. He has 1 life and 1 blocker. Kind of hoping he could set up double blocker, but that wasn't the case. So we're gonna swing for flat 7, and he's going to drop 2 cards to go up to 8. We're gonna swing for 7 again, and this time he's going to block there as well. And then we're gonna play another Enel. And this time that's going to get his last life. Oh, all in all, it's not a great place to be for him. He needs to be able to swing 4 times in order to end the game. And he definitely countered with a Rebecca. So there's not a lot of counter power just necessarily in his hand right now. So now we're going to see a 7-7 with the Enel. And that's going to draw out the Elthor. Then we're going to see a Lucci. And because of this going on and the leader effect putting one of the Enels down, we are now looking at a board where, yeah, we are now looking at a board where we are getting quite the clapping. we saved one, and that's the safest we feel comfortable in being. And now Houndblaze is going to activate. So now we're seeing a 7 come at us, and this is just rough. Check it. We have to use Enel's effect. Discarding the Thunderbolt. And Houndblaze got in there. We had to discard our entire hand to stop that. And now we're at a part where the Rob Lucci has been played this turn, so his last swing is with Kuzan. And there aren't any blockers in his hand anymore. So he's pretty much at the mercy of, can he out counter a 15k swing? And the answer is always no for these things. So we just swing 15k. Alright guys, so that's the end of the match. We're going to go into the Patreon thanks bit momentarily. I hope you guys enjoyed this match between Enel and Sakazuki. I hope that you saw some insightful plays, and I hope that my commentary helped you understand more. So thank you guys for watching, and let's thank our Patreon members now. Alright, we're right back at that moment where we thank everybody that goes the extra mile to help this channel, help this brand. Thank you guys, you Patreon members. You on the Patreon, you're going to be able to see a lot of articles that are way too long to put into video form. I just dropped a Zoro article for the OP05 format. It's been a long time coming, but holidays, me getting sick, and a little swamped as well kind of got in the way. That being said, I do have to thank you guys. I did just get a laptop so I can do more work on the go mobilely when I'm on events or traveling, so that's going to go a long way for these articles as well. And yes, so with that being said, I want to give a special vocal shout out to the Realm of Xers, BR, Bryce R, and Big Daddy Flapjack. Thank you guys for going the extra mile. I'll be putting up more articles and working on the next giveaway very soon. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next video.